Well, hi, welcome to another episode of Visual Storytelling Today podcast. Today, I'm going to touch on a very interesting topic. If you recall, I already covered this whole brave new world of volumetric video storytelling. And that was in the context of much more kind of heavy duty equipment in order to create really immersive experiences. But today, I wanted to kind of focus on something much more accessible that actually brings up the title for this episode, which is how does AI democratize volumetric videos for brands? So these days, as we all know, AI is getting mainstream. And so this is, I thought, an interesting intersection between the emergence of AI and volumetric videos and make it accessible to more brands to tell richer stories. So to help me with this topic today, I invited Shreyans Jain. He's the head of product marketing at Volograms. And I came across his interesting panel discussion at the recent Northern Digital Storytelling Festival. And I was really intrigued. I downloaded the app and started experimenting with it. And I found it really allowing you to do amazing things with it and embedding 3D characters in different surfaces and environments. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Shreyans.
Thanks so much, Lomi. And I'm really glad you joined the conversation, the session the other day. And I'm here speaking with you.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And, it's always amazing when technology can provide such great advantages from yesterday, where you needed to, huge budget in order to create volumetric videos. And today with AI and predictive analytics, you can pretty much achieve very close results. So I thought this is a fantastic opportunity to kind of dig deeper on this emerging space. But before we get started, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got involved in AI-powered volumetric videos, and I understand that Volograms is based in Dublin, Ireland, which is another interesting point to the story.
When I joined Volograms, the idea was not, so I joined Volograms back in 2020. And the idea at that time was not to join a team doing AI-based volumetric video. I think as things happened with COVID, with the ever-changing world in terms of how content needs to be created and consumed, we ended up pivoting to AI-powered volumetric videos, which now has made life really easy. But just to take a little bit of step back from that, I've pretty much worked in marketing all my life. I started working in digital marketing back in 2013 when it was still a new thing, and content at that time mostly just meant written content that you could distribute through different platforms and mostly optimize for the search engines, because that was one of the biggest places where you would consume content or learn about things from. And that was back in 2013. Now we've moved to so many different kinds of content. And during these years, I also learned about video and social media marketing during my stint as an entrepreneur running a direct-to-consumer e-commerce brand. And I've been interested in content and how the evolution has happened in the last few years. And I was doing my MBA from University of Oxford, which is when I stumbled across this opportunity to pretty much establish the marketing function at Volograms in their early years. And I did not know about the technology as much. I had a little bit of understanding of what augmented reality, virtual reality will look like, but again, I was not, I think I'm still not a complete expert. The whole industry is moving at a pace that it's so hard to keep up. I'm still not an expert, but
yeah, it's actually important to say that you're not coming from an engineering background. You're actually a marketer, a business perspective, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it was important for me to look at everything from a marketer point of view, but at the same time, because this was a technology that people did not know about, I had to get my hands dirty in trying to understand the technology. I remember initial days when lockdown happened, right after I joined Volograms. I used to jump on calls with our CEO and
Yeah.
like our technology lead to understand what volumetric video is, because in initial days I did not understand how texture and meshes and 3D models work,
Right.
because you
Yeah.
never get into that nitty gritties when you're doing content marketing in general or recording a
No, not
video.
at
You never
all.
think about how video is uh, photos or images playing at 30 frames per second. You never think about it that way.
No,
You're
it's a
thinking about,
given.
yeah, exactly. You just
Yeah.
take it for granted. And what matters for you is, okay, if the output is good enough, if the output can help me achieve my KPIs, and if it is something that the end customer will like. So
Right.
for me, joining and leading marketing for Volograms meant that I'm not only understanding the technology, but also uh, from a marketing point of view, translating the technology that we're building into something that's understandable by people.
Got
Um,
it.
which is deviating from your question a little bit, but again, like the magic moment was not a particular magic moment.
You just
What
came across
excites
the opportunity, basically.
Yes, I came across the opportunity, and what excited
Right.
me about it after
Mm.
the first few conversations was how uh, currently, like the team at that time believed
Mm.
humans are at the center of every piece of content that is created right now. So you
Got
look
it.
at photos, you look at videos, humans are at the center of every piece of content. And we believe that in the next revolution, when AR, VR become a more integral part of our lifestyle, humans will still be at the center of all the content that is consumed. Right now, if you go to your YouTube or your Instagram or your TikTok, you will see real humans in there. And we believe that humans will be at the center of the next generation of content creation as well.
That's really an important point that you're making, and that I picked up on your conversation in that panel as well. Is that the centrality of putting people as the focus of the, in this case, volumetric videos, just because there is an emotional response when you see other person in a photo or a video, unlike if it's just going to be just an abstract landscape. So we respond much better when we have people in a visual story. So it's a great point you're making here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think as humans and social beings, we're used to interacting with real people.
Yeah.
And as great as these new avatars are, the digital characters are, I
Right.
think it needs a huge shift in the way we think and we function to for them to replace
To
like real
humanize them,
people interaction.
basically.
Yes, because uh, it's again, I'm not a brain scientist, but it's something ticks in your brain every time you see a
Yeah.
digital avatar not moving the right way, even if their
Right.
shoulder movement is not right or the way they move their lips while
Yeah.
talking is not right. You can instantly tell that, okay, that's not a real human,
Right.
and your perspective towards whatever you are looking at completely changes.
This is so
So
true. So it actually works on two levels in essence. One is the fact that you actually use humans or people as part of the visual by default is going to bring up response. But the fact that you use not just humans, that it looks like real people and not like avatars that are kind of placeholders, that fact is also that the realism is also improving the response, because it's not like, as you said, like a digital replica. It's actual real person, the way it looks and move in a 3D environment. So it's kind of works on two levels, I guess.
yeah, absolutely, and that does not take away the fact that avatars will not be important to
Right.
the way we consume content in the future. I think games will still be around like digital avatar characters, and there
Yeah.
might be other cases where digital avatars prove more helpful. But humans at the center of things will still be important. That's what we believe in, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much what convinced me to uh, be a part of this team, because as someone who's done content pretty much all his professional life, I realized that I could be in the center of a technology that is adopted
Yeah.
and is used by people,
No, that's
like
amazing.
millions and millions of people around the world. Just how normal video content, like video creation, is so common now, and you wouldn't have thought about it maybe
Yeah.
back in early 2000s, where it was only accessible to people with good cameras.
Exactly.
And even consumption of those videos was very difficult up until maybe YouTube came in and streaming
Sure.
became easier. Before that, I remember you had to download all those videos, which would take hours on your terrible internet speed.
Exactly. The dial-up
And then,
connections. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
But now it's as easy as just scrolling on your feed and watching every
for
video.
sure.
So
For sure.
yeah, content is what drives me as a
Mm.
marketer, and we believe that volumetric video, or like humans in 3D, will be at the center of the content that is
Yeah,
consumed
that makes a
in the
lot of
near future.
sense. No, definitely, for sure. Question I ask all my guests, since I'm coming from the visual storytelling space, I'm always curious to know how people from different backgrounds see what is visual storytelling in your mind.
Oh, that's a great question. I really like that question because it's so broad. It's got so many
Yeah, you can
moving
feel it
parts.
any way you like.
No, yeah, and there are so many moving parts as well to visual storytelling now, with
Mhm.
accessibility of tools and
Yep.
distribution platforms. And I think the way visual storytelling has evolved in the last few years has been nothing short of incredible.
Mhm.
I think it took us no time to move from uh, just consuming, say, movies to YouTube to Instagram to TikTok,
Mhm.
in a video format. And I'm not even considering the other areas of evolution in animation, illustration, or just like text-based
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Um, but in general, I think like visual storytelling is about using different visual tools to tell your story, and it's become more now about repurposing your content. I
Mm.
think we have so many different platforms. We have people people living on the internet on so many different platforms, and your potential customers living on so many different platforms, that you can create one piece of content, but you can reach your potential target audience on so many different platforms through that same piece of content. So if it is, for example, we talk about the podcast that you're creating, and
Yeah.
your target audience are marketers and
Mhm.
advertisers, etc., who want
Right.
to know about the technology. You might find them on LinkedIn, where you
Right.
share maybe a small clip of this. You might find them through SEO by optimizing the transcript of this. You might find them on TikTok, where someone's
Yeah.
going through marketing videos on TikTok, and your video
That's actually
comes
a
by.
great example because actually this podcast is distributed in three ways: as a video, like I'm recording this in video, and it's going to be on YouTube and social, but
Yeah,
also on as an audio on podcast networks, and three as a blog post story. So, yeah.
yeah, that's fantastic. Yes, exactly. So like repurposing for audio
Mhm.
as well, so that your potential customers can consume the content
Yep.
on the
Yep.
go, while they're biking, or while they're
Right.
driving, or while they're cooking food.
Yep.
It's just a different way, and now we are connected to the internet in so many different ways that, for me, visual storytelling, obviously it's always about the story that you're trying to tell. Obviously it's about the first piece of content you create, but the evolution in how you can repurpose it so that you can reach your target audience in different ways,
Absolutely.
is what is uh, has completely changed the way it works now.
Yeah, it's a great point you're making about the adapting the story, the visual story, to different platforms where you can consume it the way you want it, through audio or video or written word. And the other flavor I would say is also this whole notion of transmedia storytelling, where basically you start the story on on YouTube and complete it on, on a podcast. So there's a continuity. It's not the same story. It's just another part in the journey in the story, another chapter. So that's another interesting use case I've started seeing.
Yeah,
But
and it's a great way to engage and probably bring your audience to follow you on different
yeah,
platforms.
exactly.
It's a great way to keep them engaged on different platforms and stay connected with them on different platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So now that we kind of covered the first level of your backstory, you know, your point of view about visual storytelling in general, I'm sure my audience is dying to hear about Volograms and what are they and how to use AI to democratize volumetric videos, make them more accessible to people to create.
Yeah. So I can, sorry, I think there were like a couple of parts. So I'll
Yeah,
quickly talk about
sure.
like my work at Volograms,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I can talk about what Volograms are, and then the last bit about like AI as well. I think working at Volograms has been a pretty like really exciting because you get to be a part of a team that's in very early stage,
Mm-hmm.
but being part of an early stage startup also means that you have to wear different hats at
Right.
different parts of the journey. Um, but if I have to mention it in one sentence, I think I'm responsible for marketing and growth at Volograms.
Right.
In general, my responsibilities include acting as the bridge between our early users, customers, and the product team so that I can translate the needs of our customers by talking to them uh, during customer interviews, by looking at behavioral analytics on our products into something that the product team can understand, and at the same time translate the complex technical technology that we are building into something that most of the people out there can understand,
Yeah,
um,
that's
while
fascinating.
helping develop the
Yeah.
product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And you know, when you talk about the work you're doing, who is you? Would you say your ideal customer?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I think I'm still finding an answer to that.
Yeah.
If that doesn't sound too weird, but it's like thinking who's the ideal customer
Mm,
uh, of a camera.
right.
Uh, so a camera is something that can be used by anyone or everyone in
Right.
the way they like. Similarly, what we're doing is we're providing people an option to capture humans.
Mm,
So you can capture humans using your camera in 3D. So it's as easy as recording a
yeah.
video, and that's what we call a hologram. So you just need to get your
Mm,
iPhone and
yeah.
use our app to record a person.
I see.
What our AI does after the video is recorded is it uh, captures the video data, some other parameters from the camera, sends it to our server, and what you get at the end is a 3D model. A hologram is what we call it. And you can then do anything you want to do with that hologram. You can integrate it into Unity, Unreal, the platform of your choice to
I
create
see.
immersive experiences. You can use it to create social media content.
Yeah.
I can sit here, I can capture a hologram, and I can send it to my friends living across the world, and they can create content with my hologram in their living room,
Wow.
which completely removes the idea of distance if you are
Yeah.
able to do that.
Yeah.
So it completely depends on the creativity of the users. Our ideal customers is something that is difficult to define. And as a marketer, it sometimes kills me that I don't know my ideal customer profile or ICP as they call it. But you have to focus on other aspects of
Mm.
marketing where
But you
you're
get both
generating events.
businesses, you get both brands, businesses as clients, as well as consumers that individual consumers that are testing it for their own social media promotions, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's
Mm-hmm.
individuals as well, but when you talk about
Mm-hmm.
business customers,
Yeah.
so for business customers, it's more about generating awareness that might not
Right.
happen directly with brands, but
Mm.
you might work with studios like AR/VR
Right.
studios or marketing agencies
I see.
and generate awareness about the possibilities that to
Mm.
your technology.
Right.
So if you're making them aware about the possibilities of what can happen through this technology, uh, there are a lot of creative people out there who can start thinking of different
Right.
solutions.
One thing I
And
want to
it's
kind
only
of,
after.
one thing I want to highlight, if people miss that piece, which I think it's really incredible, this is like the core of the innovation of this technology, is the fact that the AI can actually predict the full 3D of a person you are shooting without the need of 360 cameras and expensive equipment in order to create that volumetric video of a person, and that's the innovation that this technology is bringing, in essence, right?
Yeah, and like whenever we talk about the AI, I always like to think it in like multiple different parts, because we're trying to make life easier for everyone, or democratizing it for people in different parts. So first, I think a technology takes the guesswork away while doing a capture, because up until our app was launched, if you want to do like capture volumetric video, you need to do it in a studio with tons of cameras, which need to be positioned in the exact right spots. All the cameras need to be synced so that when you take the videos out of them, all of them match per frame and per second of capture.
Also, you
and
put markers on the body of the person, right? All kinds of those stickers that the cameras can actually detect in order to build the 3D model.
Yes. So if you're doing motion capture as well, you would do something like that. If you want to like take, you can do motion capture through those things as well. But so like we're taking the guesswork away in how you can do the capture without so many different cameras. So one, it's making it easier to create. Second, it's only possible through your mobile, and probably half of the world, or more than half of the world, I'm not sure about the exact numbers, but so many people out there like have mobile phones or tablets now. So anyone with an access to a mobile phone or an iPhone can record volumetric video.
And that's amazing. That's really incredible that you kind of encase such great power in a mobile app that before used to take a whole studio to execute. So maybe, just to kind of, since we are, doing this on video as well, let's take the opportunity. Maybe you can share one or two examples from brands you work as clients, with using the technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me try to share my phone screen, because again, like I think volumetric video is best seen on mobile in AR. So for any for this AR experience, as soon as it finds a surface, you can tap on it.
Right.
Hello, folks. I'm excited to invite you to AWE USA 2022, our best event yet. Join the largest conference for AR, VR, and the metaverse with 250 exhibitors, 400 speakers, and the best part, connect with thousands of AR and VR professionals.
Right.
See you on June 1st through 3rd.
So you can do a lot of things. So again, as you can see, this is an AR.
Yeah.
You can play with the size of the hologram.
You can place it different places, right?
Exactly. And you can see it wherever you like.
Right.
So
one thing to kind of distinguish this from AR experiences where you kind of hover your phone, going back to that example, and activating the experience. In this case, you basically create video clips that you can actually plug anywhere after you plug your character in the surface you want, and it's visible like any other video.
That's a great point.
Yeah, because I've been playing with it myself, and it was amazing to see, how you can really embed my character on different kind of unexpected, surprising surfaces, and in order to kind of communicate a particular message. So that's kind of, it's like using the topography of a given space, your desk, I was actually having a coffee break with my wife, and I just had it hang on the on the sugar bags. So it's like anywhere you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the possibilities for creation are like endless, and you can be as creative as you like. But thinking about it from the perspective of marketers, sometimes one of the things that's most important for us and like certain kind of marketers is generating awareness and engagement about something they are doing.
Right.
And the possibilities, because this is not only a piece of content that you're consuming, but this is a piece of content that you can create with as well. So if you look at our app, once you get a Vologram, you can place the Vologram in your, say, living room, and you can create a video with it. So imagine having your brand ambassador of your brand in your living room, and every person who engages with the brand ambassador's Vologram creates a video and shares it on their socials or with their friends, which increases the network effect of a piece of content that you are creating manyfold. It's like we try to compare it with duets on TikTok sometimes. Some sort of co-creation that can lead to huge network effects and huge value and huge engagement for marketers and brands out there.
Yeah, because this is what you're talking about is actually a user-generated campaigns that you can do with that. So if we take a brand like Aflac, you know, the duck, you can actually take this duck and basically, you know, do kind of a hashtag contest with your audience and ask them to kind of, you know, embed this duck in different imaginative places and win a prize at the end, for example, just because of the novelty effect here, I guess.
It's so there are certain limitations because we're still building the technology. It's only possible on humans right now, so our AI is only trained on humans.
Humans. Got it.
So a few people have tried capturing that pets, and I think
I see. No animals at this point yet. No pets. Got it.
If we had $1 for every time someone asked if we can capture a pet through Volu, I think we would have self-sustained for years to come.
Got it.
Pets is something that we hear about all the time, but we're only focused, as you can see in my background, on humans right now.
Right.
Capturing humans is the focus.
Got it.
And
do you want to show another example from?
Yeah, happy to. So because one of the things that I did not touch upon in terms of democratizing, it also makes it like, one, it makes it accessible. It also makes it cost effective to capture anything in 3D, because going to a studio and doing the captures or probably flying your models there and doing the capture is extremely expensive. So just being able to do this through your smartphone, wherever they can capture by themselves, or you capture yourself, also has its
also important to say that these Volograms are not just video. You can actually include audio, you talking, and obviously we saw in the previous example, but you can put soundtracks, whatever you want. It's not just the 3D character. You're actually creating a video clip with a 3D character in it.
Yes, that's right. So audio is a big part of the experience as well. So here you can see we created an Instagram campaign for Hugo, where they were launching a new range of clothing with a campaign called Review the Night, if I don't remember, Reboot the Night. And all of these people that you see inside have been captured through Volu and then integrated into a 3D platform that they were using to create this experience that you're seeing on Instagram right now. Their 3D team wanted to showcase a new way of using technology, bringing this into fashion, and this is how they did it.
A quick question for those of the people watching or tuning in that using immersive metaverse platforms like Spatial. Is this something that your technology you can actually record yourself in 3D and actually embed it in a platform like Spatial, all these metaverse platforms?
Yes and no. So we're building different integrations for different platforms now. So whatever you capture inside the app on Volu is our own proprietary format called .vols. And we're building plugins that allow you to convert those files into formats that are integratable in these different platforms. So it is possible that it's there for your platform. If
I
it's
see.
not there,
Right.
come talk to us and we'll be happy
Yeah.
to
No, that's
work
cool.
if there's a possible solution.
Quick question about Hugo Boss. You know, for brands that working with you mentioned that they use it for awareness, engagement. Can you walk us through like how the process looks like? You know, what are their typical business goals, and you know how the production process works?
Yeah, I'll just please stop sharing my
Yeah.
screen. Happy to talk about that. So the technology is still in like fairly early stages.
Yeah.
So the process of working with brands involves generating a lot of brand awareness and a decent bit of hand holding while this is happening.
Right.
So it's important to understand their goals, identify how we fit in their production pipeline. Like you said, if it is possible to integrate the holograms captured through our app into their pipeline or into the platform that they are using or not. The typical business goals that we've worked, like for brands we've worked with, revolve around awareness generation, customer engagement, employee engagement or employee training.
Yeah.
And that's where the brands are finding most value. Now, apart from directly working with brands, which I would say is the lesser of the two different ways we work with brands, the bigger way we work with brands is via studios or creative agencies, because studios or creative agencies already have the technology expertise to integrate these technologies into campaigns. And generating awareness with brands is like a much bigger task. So you start working with middlemen like creative agencies so that you can reach multiple brands, or with studios so that you can reach multiple brands at the same time, while still having the tools to be able to implement a campaign using holograms.
Got it. And what are the typical success criteria that you are tracking when you work with brands?
That's a great question. I think, like I said before, it completely boils down to what customers want to use it for.
Right.
I think teams with different goals will have different KPIs for branding, lead generation, sales, or training, or engagement.
Right.
Like, for example, one of our clients wanted to showcase their energy installation in VR to their clients, and using holograms and a real person inside the experience helped the viewers understand the installations in a much better way, because they were directly engaging with a person. So the engagement levels of their experience was really high. Another time, it was about engaging fans of a sports team inside a stadium when they visit the stadium. So it improved the engagement of the people coming to the stadium, thereby leading to an overall better experience for people coming into the teams. Coming into the stadium. So it's up to the brands to decide what KPIs can this fit best for. And first, obviously, try the technology. So if you're able to generate awareness, you try the technology. That's when these ideas start kicking in. That's where you start integrating it with your marketing campaigns and start visualizing where it can add the most value.
Got it.
And then go on to again. Related to your KPIs. Like I said, videos can do a lot of things. Videos can help you generate awareness, generate leads, do anything. Similarly, volumetric video, I think, has multiple different use cases. It completely depends on how brands want to use it.
And from your customer research and working and talking to your customers, I'm always curious about what did you find in terms of how this technology makes them feel or think?
Okay, that's a very good question. I think what we've found the most, and I think I was speaking to one of the customers 2 weeks ago who was building experiences for a school in which kids were learning initially through avatars and other digital beings. And when they replaced the avatars with real humans, they saw the kids engaging with it better, and
I
post
see.
the experience when they spoke to the kids and tried to understand if they're retaining the information that they received better, the retention of the information is higher as well because you're engaging with a real human inside the
I see.
experience. Plus, because the technology is still novel, I think the impact that it creates when you visualize something like this for the first time and you can play with the content,
Yeah.
whether it's making the Vologram as small as the coffee cup next to
Yeah.
yours,
Yeah.
or probably as big as the tallest building around you, it leaves a longer lasting impact on anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like what I call the unlikely combination principle. You know, when you see two elements that are joined together, but they're not really, you know, in real life, you wouldn't find them. So it's kind of creating a sense of surprise and magic. So
that's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So for anyone, you know, watching, listening, and that would like to, you know, try it out, what would you say your top 3 tips for brands looking to try their own volumetric videos?
So the first thing that I would say is try it.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, we have a free app that allows you to capture videos. I always find it hard to explain what volumetric video or what Vologram is to text because it is difficult to do it like that. And I think you get the best experience after seeing it. And I've seen explosion of ideas among people after they visualize and try creating something of their own. So the first like huge tip is just try it. The app is free. It's on App Store. Just download it and try it on your own. Then for marketers, I think this might be probably one of the most common things that marketers talk about is think about how your users and how you want volumetric videos to reach them. Do you have an app? Do you want to use web AR? Because currently distribution with AR VR technologies is a little limited. So you need to think about what the best way to distribute the content that you would create is for them. And again, you might not have the information for it. You might not have the knowledge about it yet. And reaching out to people, reaching out to our teams might be the best way to learn about it.
But you can still use the video, you know, in social media platform because it's actually a video clip at the end of the day. So you can treat it as any video. It's just, it has these unique features like the ability to create human characters in different unusual places, but it's still the end result. It's a video clip.
Yes, exactly. And creating video clips can have like different kinds of value, which probably is like the third tip that I'd like to talk about is the value. I think there are so many campaigns out there using immersive media that just focus on vanity metrics. And while I think that works for some brands, marketers need to really think beyond that and understand and question the value of volumetric video and what it brings to their KPIs. And as soon as they start understanding that, they'll be able to implement and integrate volumetric video better into whatever they are doing for marketing and get value out of it.
Yeah, and I can definitely see, you know, this technology also implemented in, you know, own media properties like your own website or even presentations. This is a fantastic platform to surprise your audience with a short video clip that of your character popping up from somewhere or, you know, giving a message in an unexpected place. So I think there's much more than just social media and can really expand your distribution channels in various ways, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue into a small insight that I can give. We're building a new product, and it's going to allow people to capture holograms and very easily integrate. Just get a link to which that they can share with people or a QR code that they can integrate on their website, which anyone can scan and see a hologram of a person that's of importance to do external communications, internal communications. Like you said, introduce yourself in a presentation or introduce yourself on your social media as well. So having your QR code on your LinkedIn, instead of people scrolling through and reading about it, they can scan the QR code, have you in your living room, and hear you talking about yourself. With obviously different kinds of call to actions. So if you're interested in something like that, keep an eye out on Volograms, follow us on socials, and we'll keep you posted.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Shreyans. This has been a fantastic chat. I learned so much, and I'm really excited about this technology. I've been testing it myself, and all the the best in your journey with the new product releases. And before we go, if anyone want to reach out to you with any questions, how can they do that?
I think my LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach out to me. So if you just search for, I think, Shreyans Volograms, you should be able to find me.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And the only Shreyans working at Volograms.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Shreyans. And for all of you watching or tuning in, I'll see you in the next episode of Visual Storytelling Today. Take care.
Thanks so much for having me around, Shlomi.
Bye-bye.
Bye.